Every day feels a little less stable. Maybe that's our mental state. Take me back to when I was cool hand Luke and you were ready for anything. When we were 20-something, we could handle anything. Didn't matter that the world was broken. We were crazy kids. I wanna get back to that feeling when we were 20-something. 20-something, all grown up, I still feel like a kid. Paying rent to be independent. All grown up, I still feel like a kid. Running life with arms wide open. When we were 20-something, come on, we could handle anything. Didn't matter that the world was broken. We were crazy kids. We were 20-something. We could handle anything. Didn't matter that the world was broken. We were crazy kids. I wanna get back to that feeling when we were 20-something. I wanna get back to that feeling when we were 20-something. Yeah, we were 20-something. We were 20-something. Hey, thank you very much. So in the spirit of our theme, I want to tell you a story of reflecting on the past and the reflection that I see now when I look in the mirror. Flashback to January 2017, I was in an original rock band called Scenic, and we were entertainers who had toured all over the country for 5 years, and were finally starting to see fruit from half a decade of hard work. Touring was paying for itself. We were wrapping up a new EP of our best stuff yet, and the future was looking bright. But that collection of songs never released because Scenic called it quits. Half my band moved to Nashville to pursue their own endeavors. Another member felt like he was simply done with pursuing music as a career, and I had a wife and 2 young kids at home. I stepped away from music, and for the better part of the next 2 years, I wrestled with a new enemy. A severe bout with depression that had me seriously considering suicide at least once every single day. A struggle that I hid from everyone in my life. I was reflecting, but not in a healthy way. Flash forward to late 2018, early 2019. I had finally opened up to my wife and a few friends about my depression and my suicidal thoughts, and was actively taking steps towards a healthier mind, heart, and soul. I had accidentally started a career as a Christian worship artist, and I was traveling all around the Midwest singing church music. It was essentially the same music career I had before, but instead of being an entertainer at clubs and theaters and music festivals, I was fully focusing on working in and serving the church. Basically, all my songwriting efforts went toward worship songs, and all my stage time was as a faith leader. This sustained my family through the pandemic even, and it was something that I really enjoyed until progressively, over time, I felt the weight and burden of my career commoditizing my faith. And I realized that I was putting on a mask to perform a task that would take me further and further down a path away from who I truly was in my deepest essence of my creative self. This brings us back to November 2021, where my wife and I had a conversation that I was able to express to her how I was feeling. And to my surprise, she had actually begun to notice the same things about me. To summarize that hours-long conversation, we decided that what I really needed to do was value authenticity above everything else in my art form, and see where that led. In March of 2022, I released my first non-worship song in 8 years, and it's a song called Little Chaos. This is that song. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey, little chaos with your hands up in the sky. If I did not know better, I would think that you could fly. You're running away and running on back, jumping around like an aerial attack. I gotta say, you sure have a gift for making my day a little hectic. Honestly, I love a little chaos. Even when you're jumping around, even when you're screaming at me, even when you're breaking my stuff, even when you're being crazy, even when I'm losing my cool, even when I'm crying, laughing, even when I'm staring blankly, I love you and I like you, even when you're running away and running on back, jumping around like an aerial attack. I gotta say, you sure have a gift for making my day and lifting my spirits. Honestly, I love. Honestly, I love. Honestly, I love a little chaos. Thank you. I wrote that for my son, so if you have kids, I think you can probably relate to that one a little bit. After Little Chaos released, I released more singles, one called 20-something that we actually sang earlier. And I worked on 2 sister EPs called Gloomy Days and Lonely Nights, which were collections of songs reflecting on my battle with depression. Gloomy Days came out in August of 2022, and Lonely Nights came out 6 months later in March of 23. The experience of writing, recording, producing, and releasing Gloomy Days and Lonely Nights was the experience of self-reflection that I needed after years of ignoring my mental health and my soul health. Throughout the process of making these EPs, I was constantly in a sense of wandering through the middle of the woods, floating somewhere between moments of joy and moments of sadness, and living somewhere in the middle that felt numb and uncertain. I asked, is this all there is? I bundled up my soul in a coat of hopeful longing as I sang against the cold winds of depression, while looking for the light of the sunrise that I hoped would come after every dark night of the soul. Finally, toward the end of the recording process, I felt a sense not that I'd fully defeated or overcome this challenge, but of camaraderie when people would share with me how these songs had met them where they were at, and how these songs could give words to their feelings that they couldn't express. And that sense of community inspired this song. This is an acoustic one, so the guy's just gonna stand here and look pretty while I sing it. People like us are always blindly stepping out on the ledge. 5-year plans seem like a waste, 'cause everything changes annually at best. If you're not sure what comes next, if you're waiting for a sign, I don't see any yet, but for now, just put your hand in mine. I might give off confidence, but I'm uncertain too. Yeah, I'm not sure what comes next. I've been waiting for a sign. I don't see any yet, but for now I'm better with your hand in mine. We'll be together with your hand in mine. So 2023 bled into 2024, and I felt a growing sense of freedom, not from my struggles, but with them. This caused me to look all the way back to the unreleased music I had created with Scenic all those years ago and reflect on a song that I had written on my friend's front porch in 2012. When my stresses and doubts and fears and pain were maybe less severe, but still lingering all around me. That night in 2012, I wrote a song about the smell of rain, a chemical called petrichor that is particularly pungent during the spring season. The Kevin of 2024 looked back at the 2012 model and pulled that song out of the past with a few edits to the lyrics and the melody, and stood on the reflection of the pool of raindrops that emitted a scent that reproduced a memory that gave this man who stands before you today a deep sense of unity with another version of himself, a version that seemed to have been lost to time and behind masks that were finally being left behind. This is a shortened version of that song called Spring Rain. Oh, the spring rain helps me back up again. Oh, the spring rain lets me know I'm one and the same, reminding me my body is made up of the first rain, sculpted by the most creative hands. I need all that I can get. I need all these choruses. I need every last memory to lead me where I'm going. And I know there's something more, because I smell something bigger in store. Oh, the spring rain helps me back up again. Oh, the spring rain lets me know I'm still one and the same. Oh, the spring rain catches my eye to see the heavens from where they drain. The spring rain, oh, it reminds me that there's a God who feels my pain. Oh, the spring rain, oh, the spring rain, oh, the spring rain. And this pretty much brings us to now. If I could, I'd love to turn your attention inwards towards yourself. This whole time that I've been sharing this story, it's been a recollection and a reflection of how I started in one place, walked through struggles and pain, and came out the other side not an entirely different person, but the person who I always was underneath it all. My reflecting has allowed me to see my true self in my current reflection. You might feel like you're an entirely different person than you were 5 or 10 years ago, and that might be true, but I would encourage you to maybe reflect on the ways that your true self has simply been uncovered, or possibly how you've been covering your true self up with masks that are making it impossible to see the reflection of your true self. So what now? I've basically just asked you to take stock in your current identity, which could be someone that you really love or someone that you don't care so much for. So what are you going to do about it? That is entirely up to you. What do you see in your reflection? Is it a mask, or is it a reflection of your true self? Ask yourself, does something about me, in me, need to die so that I can truly live? Or am I already experiencing flourishing in my true self? What you do with that information, with that reality of your identity, is up to you. I want to end with one more song. This is a new song that's actually coming out next Thursday. We've never played it live except for today. They literally learned it about an hour ago. And so my encouragement is to use this song as a reflection, because that's what this song is about. It's a reflection of what you may need to do next, what I may need to do next, to see your truest self in how you were always meant to be. Life, majesty, health, it seems so obvious when everything is green, day and night, oh well, but something happens in the falling leaves. It seems like everything dies, but really it's just another stage of life. Falling leaves remind me that all is well. Even when it leaves the branches bare like a shell. Though it causes such a fright, the autumn leaves just tell to stop and ask why it becomes so obvious. Oh, unraveling of time, the troubles of today become the mirror of how we live our lives. Hold fast to hope, let it fertilize the wondrous joy of a world made right. Falling leaves remind me that well, even when it leaves the branches bare like a shell. Though it causes such a fright, the autumn leaves just tell us all that all is right. Flourishing, flourishing, nourishing, nourishing, flourishing, flourishing, nourishing, nourishing, flourishing, flourishing, nourishing, nourishing, flourishing, flourishing. Nourishing, nourishing. The falling leaves remind me that all is well. Even when it leaves the branches burned like hell. The falling leaves nourishing, flourishing, flourishing, nourishing, nourishing. My name is Kevin McClure. Thank you very much for having me today.